Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, great news from Romania, if you can believe that. And what do we have here? We have mass demonstrations, street demonstrations, organized by supporters of Călin Georgescu. Călin Georgescu should have been by now the Romanian president of Romania. Got that? Okay, words have meaning. So, but instead, no, we have someone else trying to disqualify him, and probably they will disqualify him as long as they charge him with a crime, and then they conduct the elections in between, probably somewhere while he is charged and fighting it. Probably they will, or maybe convict him, and after they convict him, they will say, you know what, you have a criminal history, you can't be a candidate, so you can't run for office. So bye-bye, Mr. Georgescu. Who is behind sidelining Călin Georgescu? It's not the Americans. I think I know exactly who they are. Now, we have here some videos showing the mass demonstrations in Romania. Someone posted something on Facebook, and it says you gotta love democracy, and they showed us, and it was a picture of the Romanian march, the protests. And I said, well, democracy that works in a yes, I said yes, in an educated society. It's not only that, you have to have freedom of speech. Without freedom of speech and freedom of expression, you would not be allowed to tell what is wrong with something or what you support. So democracy is good if you have an educated society, and you need freedom of speech. You can have an educated society. You can, if you're not allowed to express yourself and freely without negative consequences, especially in the political realm, that means democracy is not what it's intended to be, which is ruled by the majority, by the people, for the people, right? All right, so let's start with this article coming from Russia Today. I will show you two videos. This is from 1st of March 2025. Tens of thousands rally in support of NATO-skeptic Romanian politician. Well, I dislike, personally, I dislike when the media and the guys behind the media, the interest, are giving connotations to regimenting a person, putting a person in a certain box. A person is more than that. So here I have NATO-skeptic. Is much more, I'm talking about Călin Georgescu, much more than a NATO skeptic. He's he's a nationalist, he's a patriot, he's a Romanian. I have many things that I like about, maybe one thing it was that I didn't like, no maybe, I know one thing I didn't like about Călin Georgescu, and that was, he was very vague. That it was about, 6 years ago or so, 5-6 years ago, when he was with the Pământ Strămoșesc. Right, but anyway, I like everything else about him. Călin Georgescu, whose victory in the first round of the presidential election last November was annulled, is now facing charges that he calls political motivated. I totally agree with that. Tens of thousands of demonstrators gathered in Bucharest. Jesus Christ, Emil. București, mă. in Bucharest on Saturday to demand that the second round of the annulled Romanian presidential election takes place rather than a new vote be held. How do you like that kind of The protests come after, in December, Romania's Constitutional Court annulled the results of the first round, which saw right-wing candidate Călin Georgescu win with 23% of the vote. I'm not trying hard, man. In January, Romania's ruling coalition approved the rerun of the presidential election, the first round of which is scheduled for May 4th. If no candidate secured more than 50% of the vote, a runoff will be followed on May 18th. So May 4, May 18th. So let's play some of these videos, and then I'm going to show you another one. That's one below. How do you want it? How do you like me now? Let's go with this one. Very interesting. I started with this. Boom. Peaceful protest? Not mostly. Peaceful. Do you see anybody burning anything? Do you see anybody burning a car or a business or anything like that? Why is not? Why is that? Is because these guys are civilized? I think so. I think so. And I know some people say, Emil, how can you say that? Why? Because they know my stand on the Romanian culture, and not only. But hey, needs a revolution, Romania, cultural revolution. All right, let's start with the beginning here. Bistrița Năsăud, that's a county in Romania. Bistrița Năsăud, that's in Transylvania. Brașov, that's again a city and a county in Romania, Transylvania. This is the same video here. Let's see what else. There are some other ones showing the multitude of people, the mass. Here they are. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, what's wrong with you, buddy? There you go. Good job. Supporting Romania. Says Romania trezește-te. Romania, wake up. Civilized. Oh, look at that quote. And the next one. Nice, nice. I like that. I like that. So I made a few videos regarding this subject. You can go and check them out. I'm not going to go over them again with certain things that I said. This is the latest, last one made on February 21st. Romania Călin Georgescu asked Trump for help. Remember. And then we have Andrew, how do you call it? Musk, and United States of America could intervene after Vance supported Călin Georgescu. Vance being obviously J.D. Vance, the vice president of Romania, said, well, friends have the common values. What are you doing over there? So the United States of America seems to be on the side of allowing, as much as it has power over Romania, allowing the candidate Georgescu to run. So who doesn't want Georgescu to run? Well, he made some statements. You go by that. Who che bono, right? Or who doesn't che bono? Who doesn't benefit out of this? So he said, Romania is a kind of a vassal, and that's not, I'm paraphrasing, that's not his words, right? Romania is kind of a vassal state. NATO has too much power. Maybe we should think about being friendlier with the Russians and others. We shouldn't hate other, the Russians in this case. We should not be involved in Ukraine and supporting Zelensky against the Russians. That's not our war. They should do whatever they want. The European Union has Romania owned. And then he's a nationalist and patriot. What does that mean? Romanians, France, Germans, Germany, United States of America, e pluribus unum. Even though the pluribus unum, they knew exactly from many one, that's pluribus unum, Latin. Ooh, I'm fluent in Latin, can you? Anyway, this is an anomaly, but they still, by the Constitution and by writings around the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the United States of America declared itself what kind of country is. Not a country of immigrants, as they try to put us now, of certain kind of settlement stock. After all, the guys who wrote the Constitution were, I think, all of them of a certain stock. Oh yeah, they own slaves. Bad thing. Anyway, so what do we have here? So it can't really be the United States of America who's trying to, if you think it's the Romanian Constitutional Court and it's the law and it's the Romanian democracy and the civic society and all that, my friends, you can go and take a basme, fairy tales. You can read the Bible if you want. You can read, all kind of science fiction books, things like this, fiction books. You can go over there, look for Humpty Dumpty and things like that if you want. Now, if in the real world, it's not like that. So who is against it? So if he's a patriot, a nationalist for Romanians, so it obviously should be someone alien from Romania. I mean, it's someone from outside your family that hates the family. No? Unless the person is mentally sick, hating the family. No? In the family. So if you have a person in the family that wants ill to the family, that person is either a traitor or a mentally sick person. You should be with the family. No. I'm not saying to not criticize in order to make the family better. So it must be an alien, someone outside who wants Romania to be fucked. Who could that be? Well, all right, that's one. Now, he's a nationalist and a patriot who hate these far-right people. Some people who have in their memory everybody against us. And remember, we will never forget the Second World War. And the blah, 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 blah. Okay, I gave you the information already. You get the hints. So that's one. The second one, the European Union obviously doesn't want, because this guy doesn't really want to be part of a vassalage by a plantation owned by Al Capone, which Al Capone already determined that Romania should have democracy, not. So it's someone in the European Union. I already determined is the alien something group. The second one, or entity, or however you want to call it. Second one is should be in the European Union interest to have Romania under, not the American, having Romania in the European Union. Third one, who is against and then NATO. If the United States of America is okay with this guy who said maybe Romania should get the hell out of NATO, I'm just saying, that means it's someone else. So it's some European countries, definitely some leaders of the European countries, with the help of this alien group that I was talking about, the patriotism. I don't think the Americans, no, the Brits should say, you know what, no, everything that's British is wrong. No, Brits for Great Britain, or English for England, the Welsh for Wales, and so on, right? So it can't be in the European Union, or the Europeans can't be, because you have the ethnic, the nationalist aspect. He's a patriot and nationalist, far right. So does it ring a bell? Do you think it's the English who don't like that? I don't think so. Do you think it's the French? No. It's someone else who actually have Europe by the balls, want to keep this together for more plundering of the world. And Romania doesn't play we're all the same kind of thing. We don't love our nations, and you're going to destroy our nations by destroying our soul. When a country has no soul, when a nation has no soul, it's easy to manipulate. If you don't know who you are anymore, anyone can tell you whatever they tell you you are. You have to know who you are. But if you don't teach the population, the nation, this is Romania, you're Romanian, this is your history, made up as it is, as everybody else's. If you don't have idols, Ștefan cel Mare, I don't know, Mihai Viteazu, Vlad Țepeș. If you don't have, I don't know, Antonescu. Oh, wait, did I say that? Shit. Anyway, or Ceausescu, if you don't have idols, you don't have people that you should, or I don't know, Noica, if you want. If Enescu, if you want, what's his name, Iorga. If you have many other ones, if you don't have them as to be proud of yourself, you have Decebal, you have Traian if you want, you have Burebista, you're a Dacian. If you don't have these things, and they try to destroy this, your cohesion. How? Importing shit and poisoning your minds and souls. So you have to be proud of that. And when you know who you are and someone comes to you, you owe me something because you didn't help me then. Why the fuck I was supposed to help you? Get the fuck out. How about that one? So I think I narrow it down to one thing. You can say, well, that one is also in the United States of America. So how do you reconcile that, Emil? Well, indeed, Trump helps that entity in the Middle East, but hey, what can we do? At least these guys want to break something in Europe. It's not only that group, because obviously there's many groups and many interests at play, but you can put them on number 1, number 2, 3, 4, and so on. So definitely in Europe, forces in Europe with the flavor of that particular entity that I mentioned. Because that's the cultural war against Europeans. That's a cultural war. The destroying their identity, their soul. Why? So you can manipulate them. Fight the other Europeans, the Russians. How about that? And we just count our money back there in our, as the snow flies in the ghetto. All right, you got the hints? I think I've been more than obvious here. Hey, so good Romanian democracy. Romanian democracy was a farce, and you can tell why. If the right people win, the same is in America and everywhere else. If the right people win, democracy, man, everybody should have democracy. When the wrong people, like let's say Alternative for Deutschland in German, or I don't know, this guy over there in Romania, and many others, Meloni, they're already bad. Who says that? The mass media, the mainstream mass media, owned by whom again? And you go back to the entity. Or controlled, or however you want it. Again, you cannot love your country, it seems like. Because loving your country, that means hating everybody else, or particularly that group who's very afraid they're going to go back to you know where. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.